Hey guys, Sak here from sakitech, and in today's video, we will be talking about an incredible new smartphone that has just arrived at the market. And it is quite an impressive monster. This is the Nubia REDMAGIC 9S Pro, which is an upgrade over the previously available Nubia REDMAGIC 9 Pro. It has some incredibly beefy specs, including the newest and updated Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor, 16 gigabytes of RAM, 512 gigabytes of storage with UFS 4.0 technology. And there is a massive 6,500 milliamp hour battery with 80 watt super fast charging that will charge the battery from 0 to 100 in a whopping 35 minutes. Now this phone actually has a headphone jack. It also has some ultra cool RGB lighting effects that are customizable with various colors and multiple lighting locations on the chassis. It is a full screen display that has an invisible 16 megapixel selfie camera, which is hiding under the display on the top, which is barely noticeable. We'll talk more about the display in a second. It also has incredible lag-free gaming performance with the graphics cranked all the way to the highest settings. And for people that like to customize, there is going to be a dedicated customization menu which serves as your command center to customize the phone to your liking. And of course, there's much more, so let's dive in and see what's going on here. First, I do want to give you a full tour of the product. Now, starting price for this smartphone is $650 for the 256 gigabyte storage model with 12 gigabytes of RAM, or $800 for the 512 gigabyte model with 16 gigabytes of RAM. It is also available on Amazon for a slightly higher price tag, but that might be more convenient for some people. So I will drop all the links down below if you decide to give this product a try. All right, guys, so let's do a quick tour around this device. It's a very interesting product. Now you can see we have a couple cameras here, and you will notice that we have a light here that is actually blinking. That is not a camera. I'm going to tell you what that is in a second. We have a camera right here. That's a 50 megapixel main camera. We have a 50 megapixel ultra wide camera. And then we have a third camera right over here that is going to be a depth sensing camera. So we do have a triple camera system. Now, this over here actually is a fan that is spinning inside. This is designed to be a powerful gaming performance oriented phone. So what we have here is, if you look over here, we have an intake fan, all right? So the phone sucks in cold air from this side, and then on the other side, we have an exhaust fan, and the hot air comes out of here. So all the hot air that gets built up in the phone gets extracted from here. But on this side, we have the intake fan, all right? Now, over here, we have the volume rocker, we have the power button, and we also have a gaming button. I'm going to show that to you. If you activate that button, it enables a gaming mode. But then over here, because this is supposedly a gaming phone, we have a shoulder button right here and a shoulder button right here. Those are basically the same kind of buttons you would find on a PlayStation or an Xbox controller that you can tap on. These are also customizable for games. Now at the bottom, we have a speaker grill, USB Type-C port, micro SD card tray, and then on the top, what we have is we have the headphone jack, we have an IR blaster, and then we have another speaker grill, and we have a microphone, okay? So it does have dual stereo speakers. And real quick, with the build quality on the rear, we have a reflective glass, as you can see. On the sides, we have matte aluminum finish, and the display on the front is going to be Gorilla Glass 5. Also notice how there's no camera bump. So if I come to the side, you're going to see it is completely a flat back, which means when I have this flat on the table, there's absolutely no wobble. I can easily put this on the table and start doing stuff like this without having to worry about the camera bump and device wobbling. Now, one more benefit of REDMAGIC 9S is when you buy this phone, you basically get everything in the box to get you started. So obviously you got the phone, you have a 80 watt fast charger included in the box, a high grade USB Type-C cable that supports the 80 watt charging, a little guide, and even a free case, as you can see, that you can put on this right away to get you started. And also on the phone itself, you already have a pre-installed screen protector to get you started. That screen protector is not a high quality protector, but it's still there to get you started and protect the screen. So again, you get everything that you need, which these days is unusual for many other flagship phones. Now, like we said, the phone has ultra fast charging. You get a nice graphic, okay? It also has an in-display fingerprint sensor, so I can log in with my finger. Let me show that to you one more time. It works really nice. So it's right here, and boom, we've got an optical in-display fingerprint sensor. But if I go to my battery, I do want to talk about something really quickly here. So if I scroll down and go to battery, basically you can charge this phone from 0 to 100 with the included adapter in 35 minutes, which is insane. Or let's say you have a dead battery and you charge the phone for 10 minutes, you are going to be able to get nearly 40% battery life in 10 minutes of charge. So in that respect, it is really far beyond the iPhones and the Samsungs. Now, something that's very interesting is because we have a built-in fan in the phone, we can actually use the fan to cool the phone while it is charging. So look at this. It says the cooling fan is turned on automatically during fast charging to significantly promote charging efficiency and reduce heating. And what you can do is when you plug in this for the very first time, you can enable or confirm it. So I'm going to tap on enable. So now as I'm charging, it is going to allow me to keep the phone nice and cool. That even reduces damage to the battery. All right, so if I lower the lights, you can see all the lights we have on the back of this phone. We have one right here. We have one over here, and also one over here. And all these lights, you can customize the color. In fact, you can see the fan is running multiple colors. But as an example, you can see I have these blinking in orange now, and again we have a multi-color over here. Let me show you how to get that done. So basically in the phone you go to the settings, okay? The first thing, if you go to personalization, you are going to see you have access to the light strip. Now the light strip are the lights I showed you, that is not the fan. So what you can do is you can go over here and you can change the colors to whatever you want, okay? So if I do blue, I am going to get a blue blinking light right here. That is going to be independent, all right? That's going to be a different setting. And also you can see I have blue on the shoulders, all right? And again, if I go over here and if I pick pink, that is going to be pink on the shoulders. Oops, on the other side right here. Pink and pink right there, okay? So that's that. I can customize the light and I can change the effect, so I can go from flashing to breathe to steady light. So if I do this, now I'm going to have a steady light on the corner, as you can see, okay? The camera makes it look like it was blinking, but it's actually steady. Now if I go back over here and out again to the main settings area, and if I scroll down and go to cooling fan, from here I can go over here, tap on the cooling fan mode. I can scroll down over here, tap on the startup light, okay, and I can pick all these different colors just for the fan. So one second, right over here, let's say I just want to do a blue color for the fan. Now that's what I have, and you can see it right there, okay? If I want something that is a mixture of multiple colors, I can go like this. Look at that, all right? So all these customization options make this phone very attractive for people that are into this kind of thing. I also want to show you guys the gaming capabilities of this phone. But before that, let's go to the settings really quick. And I want to show you this thing right over here. The customization command center is what I call it. So from here, you can change every single thing on the phone. So wallpapers on this phone, the stock wallpapers are amazing. So here's one example, okay, that you can set as your home screen. You have this thing right here. Look at that, beautiful. If I tap on set, let's just say set both, I go out and I turn off the phone, and when I turn it back on, you will see that effect on the lock screen and even on the home screen if you do a direct login. Beautiful wallpapers, as you can see. You can swipe over to access even more. That's the one I've been using. Go back over here. I have also wallpapers like this. Look at that. If I tap on set, I can do home or both. If I do home, let me just pick another one that's a little more cooler. This one right here. So look at this, set, home. Okay, look at what happens. if I turn this off and turn it on, you can see it was a seamless experience. Let me go back in here. Okay, just show you a couple more wallpapers here. Beautifully, as you can see, we have these also. Planet wallpapers set on the home. And if I go over here, look at that. Beautiful. Okay. Now if I go back, I can also change things like my fingerprint login animations. Look at that. So when I tap on that fingerprint sensor, I can pick from these various different options. Look at this one. Okay, so if I tap on apply, turn off and on, look at this. All right, beautiful. I can also change the speed of the animations. I can do default, fast or slow animation speeds. All right, I can change the color and shape for everything in the phone. So I can pick different theme colors, as you can see. Tap on apply, and that's what I would get. Now if I go back here, that's the new theme that I have. I can do the fonts. All right, I can do the always on display. I have all these options for the always on display. And also, if I go to the lock screen settings, I have all these lock screen clock styles I can use as well, as you can see, based on whatever wallpaper I am actually using. So lots of customization that is very important for many people. And also, before I move on to gaming, quickly, I'm going to show you the display. We have a display that can go up to 120 Hertz. You can do 60 or 90 or automatic. You can show the current refresh rate on the status bar. This is an all-screen display with minimum bezels. It can go up to 1600 nits peak brightness, and it does have a very sharp display. If I go back here, again, I got my dark mode I can turn on immediately, as you can see. All right, let me go back. Phone is super snappy, no question about that. I can change the color mode of the phone, the temperature, based on my needs, again, as you can see. Okay, soft, standard, colorful, meaning vivid and warm. Okay, so that's great. We have a lot of screen customization options as well. Now when you have the adaptive display turned on, it's very easy to see this display in daytime conditions out under bright light. So that 1600 nits of peak brightness is quite enough. The phone is really loaded and feels futuristic. Let's talk about some gaming. One of the major features of this phone is gaming. We talked about this button, this red button right over here. So basically, when you flip this button, you're going to go into the gaming area, okay? And that is going to list all your games, your installed games, right over here, as you can see. And this is going to be your gaming space. Now look at this. If I go over here on the top, there's a button I can tap. And that has all kinds of crazy settings. So I can go to my network settings, and all these are game-specific settings. Screen settings, as you can see. I can lock the brightness, get some enhanced color mode, screen energy savings mode, if that's what you want. And we also have things like anti-disturbance setting. So when you are playing a game, you do not want to be disturbed, you can activate these anti-disturbance settings. So you can even change the game spacing wallpaper, as you can see. And we have some other options right over here. But let's launch an actual game like Genshin, which is a high-performing, graphically intense game, and see what it is all about. So I'm going to tap on it. We're going to start the game. Oop, right here. Tap on start the game. By the way, you can turn over here to turn on and off the gaming fan. So if you're going to be doing intense, long gaming sessions, make sure the fan is turned on. It's off, and now it's on, and that's going to cool the device so it doesn't overheat. So let's start the game and see how it behaves. You can also enable auto turn on fan if you want. I'm going to say confirm, and then we're going to start the game. You can see it is loading up very quickly. I'm going to tap to begin, and we are in the game. Okay, I'm going to show you a couple things in the game. First, I'm going to just, move around a little bit. Let me show you. This is so smooth, it is crazy. Okay, it is running at the highest graphical settings, and it's at 60 Hertz. Look at this. This is crazy. Okay, and you can play this game for a long time without having to worry about overheating because of the built-in fan and the built-in cooling mechanics. So look at this. If I tap over here, and if I go to my settings, and if I go over to my graphics, you can see I'm going to put this at the highest setting. Okay, And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart the game to apply the graphical settings at the highest level. And also I'll make sure my FPS is at 60 because that's the way I like to play my games. Anti-aliasing is enabled as well with TAA. So let me just restart this. We'll be right back. Alright, so we are back at the game again. I'm going to run around a little bit. Let me tell you, there's going to be no lag anywhere in this game. Beautiful. So here's an enemy. I just found one. Let's see what it feels like under action. So you can see zero lag. Nice. Okay. Beautiful gaming performance, no question about that. And also you can see that this phone is in fact running the latest version of Android 14 with the REDMAGIC 9 overlay. Alright, so let's talk about the camera. So the 16 megapixel front camera that is hidden under the display does an okay job. You can see these shots. These are nothing special. But again, this is a hidden camera. So hidden cameras traditionally do not produce great results unless there's a lot of light, which is true in this case. But again, it's not going to be comparable to a standard selfie camera that is fully visible. Again, at the expense of the selfie camera, what you do get instead is a full screen display, and that is going to be the sacrifice here. Now, the main 50 megapixel camera actually does a great job. This is a very usable camera, both for photos and video. I'm going to show you guys some video samples right over here. You can see it is going to be quite smooth at 1080p, 60 frames per second. And also the 50 megapixel ultra wide camera is also very usable, but it's not going to be as good as the main 50 megapixel camera. The colors are not as good as on the main camera. So bottom line with the camera, I would say that this is not going to be a great camera. It is going to be an average camera, but in this case that is perfectly fine because this phone is not a camera phone. It is actually a gaming performance phone with high levels of customization, and that it does very well. Alright, so I do want to give you guys a sample of the actual sound quality for the stereo speakers, which actually is surprisingly good. It is well equipped to handle gaming, watching videos, and listening to music. And also, we have the DTS sound feature, very much like the Dolby Atmos sound that you find on the Samsung Galaxy smartphones. Now, I am going to enable DTS sound, and you can see you can also use the headphones because we have a headphone jack that comes with its own features. But I'm going to go back over here. I'm going to say music for the DTS sound. I am going to crank up the volume to the maximum. So that is maxed out. Now I'm going to go back out here and play a music just to give you guys a sample. So I'm going to tap on play at the bottom here. And that should be enough. You can get an idea of the sound quality. It's hard to convey it through the camera, but you can at least tell it is nice and rich and loud. Now, some of the other things that are going to be missing on this phone is going to be things like wireless charging, water resistance. So it does not have any water resistance. Remember, it has a fan built into it, so it cannot be water resistance at all. And of course, we do not have features like reverse wireless charging or the ultimate build quality you get in the flagship smartphones like the S24 Ultra. This one is using Gorilla Glass 5, as opposed to the latest Gorilla Glass Victus you find on the flagship models with the titanium build. Alright, so we talked about everything here, and here's a list of pros and cons of this product. And also links to buy will be down below if you are interested. Alright, so first the pros. We do have some powerful performance. We also have superior cooling performance for sustained gaming without worrying about overheating. We do have those shoulder buttons for enhanced gameplay. There are multiple customizable RGB lights like we showed you guys. The phone runs on Android 14 and we have superb lag-free software responsiveness. There is tons of customization like we talked about. We have a clear and bright all-screen display with 120 Hz refresh rate. And then we have quality stereo speakers. And remember, flat design, no wobbles. Now let's move on and talk about the cons. We don't have wireless charging or water resistance. The build quality of this phone is not on par with flagship phones. The overall camera would fall under average, but again, this is not a camera phone. And remember, these cons, even though they exist, also reduce the price. Again, this phone starts at $650. And that's about it for the cons. If you don't care about the cons, this phone is one of the best looking, high-performing gaming beast out on the market. If you do have any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them down below. Let me know. For now, guys, have a fantastic day.